Hey guys, Josh here, and today I'm going to be answering one of the big questions that I get from music producers, which is, how often should I stretch? And I have a couple different answers for this, but the first one that I would give is that for an actual stretching session, like you leaving your computer and actually doing I don't want to call it a workout, but an actual stretching session, I would say doing that like once or twice a day is going to be really beneficial. So in order for your muscles to lengthen and to actually gain range of motion, it takes a good amount of repetition for that to happen. And so stretching every other day or even twice a week just isn't enough to allow that to happen. So by doing it once or twice a day, so for example, morning and night, you can create much longer lasting change. Now, of course, it takes more time. You have to chisel that out of your day. But if you can achieve that, and if you can find once or twice a day to do that, then that's really helpful. And for stretching, you don't really need this long, like drastic session. I think a lot of people think when they work out, it's this hour-long grind of doing this arduous work for an hour, and that's something that they have to do every day. But for a stretching session, you really only need about 10, maybe 15 minutes to do an effective stretching session. And so if you do that once a day, it's certainly a lot easier than trying to cram in an entire hour-long workout. So that is what my answer for that. But there is sort of a add-on to that. So for an actual stretching session, I would say once or twice a day of about 10 to 15 minutes per session, doing different muscle groups. So maybe doing one session for your upper body stretching and one for your lower body stretching and some for your back too. And then in addition to that, when you're sitting at your desk, one of the things that I would recommend is that every hour you stand up and just like stretch out a little bit. It doesn't have to be a full session, but even doing something simple as just squeezing your shoulder blades back and just even like, I'm not sitting in a chair, but even just like stretching behind the backrest of a chair if it's at an appropriate height. If you're at a desk chair, if you have like a gaming chair that goes up, it's not really going to work. But in that case, just even working on squeezing your shoulder blades back, or if you have a doorway nearby, just kind of putting both hands on the side of a doorway and leaning through just to stretch out your pec muscles. Because when you're sitting in a chair for a long period of time, all the muscles in the front just kind of tighten up. So if you're there for 8 hours, you can do that stretching session once or twice a day. But again, you're in that position for such a long period of time. So if you can break that up a little bit and once every hour or once every 2 hours, just get out of that and just kind of squeeze everything back, just pull everything back. It doesn't even take long, just take 1 minute, 2 minutes tops. And that just helps train the body to not get into this forward position all the time, because that's what can cause pain, and you don't want that to happen. All right, so long story short, for actual stretching sessions, I would say once or twice a day, 10 to 15 minutes. Doesn't have to be very long, but also noting that throughout the day, try to get out of that sitting position. Just stand, stretch back a little bit, even if you're working on something. The hardest thing is that when you're in the zone and you're working on a track, obviously you're full speed ahead into that, and the last thing you probably want to do is interrupt that flow. But for the long run, in terms of trying to prevent pain and to help keep your creative flow, just stretching out of that is going to be really beneficial for you. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any suggestions on topics I should do in future videos, drop them in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you loved it, give it a sub, and I will see you in the next video.